Hello everyone and welcome to Cineful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're getting started with the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and today we're going to take a look at the Iron Hills faction. Now in this video we're going to take a look at the army special rule for the Iron Hills before taking a look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction. After this, we'll explore some other unit options available to us within the faction before finally finishing off the video with a little sample 300 point army list, which is a fantastic point value to get into the game with, to hopefully give you some inspiration for starting your own journey into the Middle-earth strategy battle game with the Iron Hills army. And so, with all of that said, the army special rule is called Ironfoot Has Come. In scenarios where you roll for additional forces to arrive, such as those that use the reinforcement rules, you can modify your own reinforcement rolls for warbands from this army list by +1 or -1, so you can choose to have them come on or off if you've got the ability to do that on the dice roll. In scenarios also where you roll to see which part of the board your warband deploys in, you can also modify the dice roll by 1 or +1, -1, which is, really good. I think this is almost better than the coming on one because this means you can make sure your forces are sticking together that little bit better. Lastly though, the best part of the rule is additionally including Dain Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hills, he'll receive the Master of Battle 4+ special rule. Master of Battle is just an insanely good rule to have access to. The fact that someone as good as Dain will get this is absolutely amazing. So whenever an enemy hero attempts a heroic action within 6 inches of a model with the Master of Battle rule, you roll a dice on a 4+, and you get to perform that heroic action as well without spending any might, even if you would not normally have access to that specific action. So just really powerful for your force. Now, of course, with that said, Dain Ironfoot is where we are going to start the army. He's a really solid fighter just off the get-go. Fight value 6, strength 5, defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 7, and 3 points of might, will, and fate, along with heroic resolve, march, strike, strength, and challenge. I think the march there is the especially important one. This means you can free up your other sort of hero slots. You're not needing captains as much in your smaller games because Dain can do that march to really give your dwarves that extra bit of movement. Now, on top of that, Dain has a bunch of special rules. First of all, he's burly, he's got fearless, he's got fearsome charge, and then he's got things like his, obviously, Master of Battle and Lord of the Iron Hills rule as well. Now, devastating charge is nice. When this model charges into combat, for each man-sized model or smaller, roll a d6 on a 5+, that model is knocked to the ground. You've also got his headbutt, where if Dain Ironfoot, Lord of the Iron Hill, wins a duel but fails to slay his opponent, select one man-sized model in the fight and roll a d6 on a 5+, he knocks them to the ground as he headbutts them. And, he's got the Lord of the Iron Hills, where he will allow Iron Hills dwarf models within 12 inch to automatically pass all courage tests they are required to make. So he's just got... Not only is he a really solid fighter, he's got a bunch of different abilities that are really going to help just sort of multiply your force in different ways. He's a great utility hero on top of just being an absolute butt kicker. Now, to go with him, because he can be mounted on that warball, we are going to go with the Iron Hills Goat Riders. For me, these are just really solid. When you're taking Dain, you want to at least have some of these so you can have some nice cavalry supporting him on that warball. What the Goat Riders are going to provide is just a pretty standard sort of Iron Hills dwarf fighter. Fight value 4, defense of 6 there as well. And then the War Goats as well are defense 5, which is pretty nice. And also have an extra wound. They've got, a fight value of 2. They give you, 8 inch movement, so they're giving you some really fast troops available to you. Now, they're also providing cavalry, which means they can knock enemies prone and stuff like that, so you can get a bunch of these extra abilities to really knock a ton of your opponents prone in one turn. And so, where else to go? The first place to look, I think, is Iron Hills Dwarves. Bring some infantry to the table. Now, Iron Hills Dwarves have a couple of different weapons they can bring to the table. You've got your standard mattocks, but you can also have spears in there as well with your shields. And you've also got the option to drop those shields and take some crossbows. Crossbows are really fun. They're going to bring in a nice little bit of extra range to your shooting. 24 inch range, strength 4 shooting is really solid. Now, the other options we've got start with, obviously, the amazing Iron Hills Chariot. This thing looks absolutely insane. It can bring a ton of firepower into your force just by being, you know, in your force. It's got a defense of 8 and 5 wounds. This thing will just charge down enemies, do a ton of impact damage when it gets in those first sort of fights, and it also provides some shooting as well. Speaking of shooting though, we can certainly look to bring in a Iron Hills Ballista, which is a minor hero for the Force. Now, this thing can be a nice cool siege weapon. It's got a defense of 7. It's got that shoot value of 4+, but it does have strength 8. So it can just pierce through and really hurt into those big fighters that may actually be able to cause your dwarves some problems. Generally, you're going to be pretty safe from small little infantry, but you also need to remember as well that, you know, this is going to be the thing that can help you take care of trolls, help you take care of those things that are going to get around your generic dwarven sort of things you're good at, like your defense. Lastly, we have Murin and Dra. These are a couple of heroes that come together as one. You can take them in your fours. Now, they've got a couple of special rules available to them as well. You've got Expert Shot on Dra, and you've also got the nice Kalazar ability as well, which is another active one. And Kalazar is his sword, where this is a sword. Additionally, Murin receives a +1 bonus to wound when making strikes against Orc, Goblins, and Urukai models. So all really nice stuff there. These are just a couple of, you know, cheap characters you can bring into your force. An expert shooter is always nice to potentially pick off troublesome heroes or troublesome backfield stuff. But, you know, they're nice and cheap. I think they're a really nice addition to your Iron Hills force. And so here we have our sample army list for the Iron Hills. First of all, we have got Dain, Lord of the Iron Hills. Like, he's going to be mounted on his war boar. He's got his two-handed hammer. You know, the perfect place to start and to lead our force. Like, the army gets master of battle when he's included. You just have to take him for me. Now, he's going to be joined by 3 Iron Hills Goat Riders, which give him, you know, some cavalry support. And then we've got a bunch of Iron Hills Dwarves. Now, in order to get us this perfect 300 points, because we are 11 points for an Iron Hills Dwarf, they're not cheap standard. So we've got 4 of them with just the matics, or swords and shields, and then we've got 1 with spear and 2 with crossbows. If you want, you can drop the spear and grab an extra crossbow, up to you, sort of how you do that. But you do have to have the 4 here with the sword and board in order to make sure your points work out for the force. This is a pretty solid army though. You've got a really powerful character, a really powerful ability, Iron Hills Goat Riders, a solid cavalry, and you've got really good line troops in your Iron Hills Dwarves. If you've been playing with the Iron Hills in the Middle-earth strategy battle game, let us know how you've been going and what your favourite units are and combos are down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But also, if you'd like to, drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community, here we have a Discord server for Sinful Gaming where we chat all things wargaming and indeed just chat a bunch of good friends all chatting there. It's really lovely. There's a link to that in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, the best ways to do that are linked in the video's description as well. We have our Patreon, YouTube members on there, which are great ways to help support the channel. But also, if you'd like to grab yourself some channel merch, we have Teespring and Ko-fi, both linked there as well. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out for helping support the channel. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Alder and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Thee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nuffs, and Nicholas Colomos. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lochloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, and James Tillman. Thank you all for supporting the channel. It means the absolute world and allows us to keep doing what we're doing. A special thanks as well to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork to the channel, and indeed to everyone who helps come and film battle reports or helps run the Discord server. You're all amazing. Thank you all so much. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.